The world is feeling the void today as the world's greatest spinner, world's greatest spin master, Sardar of spinning, has left us today. The legendary Bishan Singh Bedi is no more. This is a little tribute to his life and his cricketing life. I have actually seen him in person. Growing up in Patiala, the Maharani Club, it was called then, it's called the Gymkhana Club now. It's a huge stadium now where the Ranji Trophy matches are played and were played. But back then the ground was pretty open. The building from the Maharaja times is old, but it's a humongous, beautiful building. It lays by the railway tracks, and it was like about 8 to 10 mile ride with bicycles. And in hot summer months, when parents took a little nap and it was too hot to play outside, we would just ride over there to the ground, sit under a huge shade tree by the scoreboard. And by the way, it's that manual scoreboard. And we'll sit there. Bishan Singh Bedi ji, in early 80s, when he used to coach Punjab, come from New Delhi in his Volkswagen, and that's where he parked his car at, by where we sat. So he'll come so often and try to talk to the kids, and we were just too shy, but shortly, briefly, and he'll just smile and just leave back to the pavilion or the dugout. But he's no longer with us, and I hope the Almighty provides him, his soul, peace and the strength to the rest of his family and friends to cope with this huge loss. Rest in peace, Mr. Bedi. Here's a little tribute I have prepared for you, and hope the viewers like this. This is more or less for my own satisfaction, my personal satisfaction. Since growing up, we followed Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi very closely. There was not much media. Yeah, there were sports magazines where we will clip the cuttings of the players, and had a huge album going where we will paste those pictures of the players in action as a memory, as a collection. I wish I had that album today. I'm sure I do, but it's not handy. And I can tell you about half the album was full of Mr. Bishan Singh Bedi's pictures in action. How rare would that pictures be now? It's very hard to find these pictures because it was not the age of media. And if I had the cell phone back then, if, buts, this, that, other. Let's go ahead and watch this clip I have prepared.
Indian cricket legend Bishan Singh Bedi has died aged 77 after a prolonged illness. He was battling age-related illnesses and had undergone a few surgeries in recent years. Bedi, regarded as one of the world's finest ever spin bowlers, captained India in 22 of his 67 tests and took 266 wickets. He made his debut against West Indies in 1966 and played his last test against England at the Oval in 1979. Bedi also played English county cricket for Northamptonshire and finished his career with 1560 first-class wickets, the highest by any Indian bowler. Bedi was an integral part of a famed quartet of India's world-beating spin bowlers in the 1960s and 70s, which included Arapalli Prasanna, Bhagwat Chandrasekhar, and Srinivas Venkata Raghavan. In 2021, Bedi was picked by readers for a place in BBC Sports' all-time India Test sheet. Born in Amritsar in India's Punjab state, Bedi began playing cricket at school. When he turned 20, he became the 113th cricketer to represent India in tests. Over a 12-year career, his best bowling performance came in 1969 when he picked up 7 wickets for 98 runs against Australia in Kolkata, then known as Calcutta, a test match that India lost. in his trademark pink or bright blue turban. Bedi was a spin bowling purist's dream. With a languid run-up and a fluid action, bowling came naturally to him. Cricket writer H. Natarajan described the left-arm spinner as stealthy, silent and deadly, a master of deception who conjured variations in flight, loop, spin and pace without any perceptible change in action. Bedi flighted the ball higher than any bowler in international cricket. If he could challenge quick-footed batsmen thus, it was only because his command was so complete that he would make the ball descend far quicker than it went up, wrote Ramachandra Gohar, a historian and author of A Corner of a Foreign Field, a book on Indian cricket. Former India wicket-keeper Sai Kermani, who played 88 tests for India, once said Bedi had so much variation that he could bowl 6 different deliveries in an over. West Indies legend Sir Gary Sobers, one of the greatest all-rounders ever to play cricket, said Bedi took the weight off the ball nicely. Mike Burley, one of England's greatest captains, called his bowling beautiful, and Australia great Sir Donald Bradman, widely regarded as the game's best batter of all time, felt that Bedi was a real study for the connoisseur and amongst the finest bowlers of his type. Bedi was also a rare outspoken cricketer, often getting embroiled in controversies. In 1976, he declared India's second innings at 97-5 against Clive Lloyd's West Indies at Kingston, Jamaica, in protest against intimidatory bowling by the hosts. 3 India batters were out of the game after being hit by West Indian quick bowlers, and Bedi said it was not a declaration because there were no fit players to come out and bat. West Indies won the game by 10 wickets. In 1977, he accused England left-arm fast bowler John Lever of using Vaseline to swing the ball during a tour of India. The next year, he forfeited a match against Pakistan, alleging partisan umpiring. In 1990, as the national coach, he threatened to dump the India team in the sea after they lost a match against Australia. In 2002, he launched a stunning attack on Sri Lanka's spin legend Muttiah Muralitharan, accusing him of throwing. "If Murali doesn't chuck, then show me how to bowl," Bedi said in an interview published in Wisden Cricket Asia. Back in 1978, he refused a lucrative contract from Kerry Packer to play World Series cricket, a rebel tournament in Australia, later recounting that Packer's agent had approached him 3 times with substantial offers. Decades later, he upbraided player auctions in the Indian Premier League, saying that he just did not like players being treated like horses being sold to the highest bidder. At home, Bedi never pulled his punches while criticizing cricket board officials. He asked for his name to be taken off from a stand at the main cricket stadium in Delhi, in protest against the statue of a dead politician belonging to the ruling BJP being installed. He once appeared on a TV program without permission and sought higher match fees for his team. "If speaking one's mind is a crime, then I'm guilty several times over," he said once. Bedi was an intensely social person and a flamboyant personality. His daughter remembered a home full of free-flowing alcohol, food, and an insurmountable amount of loud laughter. He loved dogs and brought various breeds from kennel clubs home from his stints in the UK. The Sardar of Spin, as he was popularly called in India, had an infectious sense of humor. In England, he once picked up 2 dogs from a kennel, named them Charles and Diana, and took them to India. At the London airport, an official asked him, "Are you taking the mickey out of our royalty?" A deadpan Bedi replied, "No, I am taking the royalty with me." The wisecrack summed up Bedi in many ways, an irreverent personality, and a rebel of sorts, and of course, one of the greatest cricketers of all time. The Sardar of Spin, as he was popularly called in India, had an infectious sense of humor. In England, he once picked up 2 dogs from a kennel, named them Charles and Diana, and took them to India. At the London airport, an official asked him, "Are you taking the mickey out of our royalty?" A deadpan Bedi replied, "No, I am taking the royalty with me. The wisecrack summed up Bedi in many ways, an irreverent personality, and a rebel of sorts, and of course, one of the greatest cricketers of all time.
Plus the Benson Hedges gold medallion goes to a man that I think we've grown to admire so much on this tour, and that is the captain of the Indian side, Bishan Bedi. Bobby, thank you very much for saying all those nice words about myself and my team. I can promise you that we've also enjoyed the cricket very, very much. All I want to say now is send a few invitations to the Sydneyites to come to Adelaide, and I can promise you it's going to be a good thriller. Thank you very much.